Much, guys. And in the world of fancy LCS vitalities, Hyanan is the one that's going to be helping you through the home stretch, doing incredibly well. He picked up 11 kills, 6 assists against Fnatic for a total of almost 38 fancy points, which is a whole lot. Unfortunately, he's not on my team, but hopefully he's on yours. And in the very real fight for the Spring Championships, 5 players truly stood out as OP as the split comes down to the wire. So, first up on the list, it is H2K's Vander in support, currently on 20 KDA. Had an unbelievable performance on Thresh specifically, and just had some amazing hooks in that game. Moving on to the second one in our OP5 list, it is the mid laner from Origin, and maybe the return of the king, as XPeke did an exceptional job in the mid lane. 40% of the team's damage as Corki versus the Unicorns of Love, as well as bringing some split push pressure we really haven't seen from Origin throughout the split so far. Moving on to our third contender in the OP5, it is FNC's Spirit, doing incredibly well as 2 games as Lee Sin. This is actually his 5th consecutive Lee Sin game coming out of IEM, and had a ridiculous kill participation, 82%, facilitating all of his lanes, especially top lane with Gamsu camping the hell out of Smitty J. Then on to our second to last OP5 is Elements Mr. Rales. After the team had a really great performance, a lot of it was on Mr. Rales' back. 38% of the team's damage was doing a whole lot in those games. And moving on to our very final OP5, it is our very own H2K Oda Walme, who is on the desk over there. Had an incredible performance as Rammus. Okay, you could say 3, 1, and 12 in those performances, and the least deaths out of all the top laners so far. So with all these OPs locked down, we're going to send it back over to the analyst desk to take a look at our MVP.
Thank
Scripted.
you. Scripted. Live reaction. 2 actually H2K members in there.
I mean, Vander did really well today. For example, we were playing, and when we were playing around Vander and making catches with him, he would always yell "Mad Life," and he would just like manage to land hooks on everyone the whole game. But as for me, I don't know. I just play Rammus and I just run around with my power ball and I press my W and R and I just get OP5, so it's pretty easy. I guess.
mean, everybody says it's a really easy champion, but we were talking a little bit off air, you know, because the W cancels the Q and all. Like, what are some of the finer decision makings on this Rammus champion?
I mean, it's hard at first to learn him because laning phase is hard, as I said. But when it comes to team fights and when you get the interactions between your Q and W, there's been so many times when I was learning the champion that I just run in and I don't get my W off, and then I get CC'd for 6 seconds, and I'm the squishiest champion in the game, and I just explode and I lose the team fight just like that. So it's tricky, but it's not really that hard. You just need good sense of how you could zone people and how to have a big impact in the fight, because you don't really need to go for the flash downs. You just need to sit between their backline and their front line, and you have the biggest impact just doing that.
Yeah, still a great performance from you in the OP. The MVP, though, rising above the rest in the battle for first place was G2's Trick. He had 6 kills and a KDA of 12 in Week 8 to earn the title of MVP playing Gragas. And Italy, this is always tough at G2 where a lot of people are doing well, but Trick has just been such an important force. What do you make of his play this spring?
I think he's really good. I think he brings a lot of aggression, and it's not... He doesn't take that many risks by playing so aggressive. He just knows what to do, and I think he's a really important factor to why G2 does so well. He's super good.
Yeah, that's what I like the most about him. It seems like aggression, but it's just pressure that he puts forward, because he will get some camps in his jungle, especially on Italy, and then invade and he will put vision. So he always makes vision-informed decisions and avoids getting caught out. He doesn't have to gank for his lanes very often because they self-sustain very well. Like Hybrid and Emperor are so good at playing matchups. Even Perks always kind of wins mid on his own. But then he does the right thing. Instead of like greeding to push an advantage and going for a crazy dive, he will just invade, mess with the enemy jungler, leave some vision, and enable his lanes that way. So I'm a big Trick fanboy overall.
And then he comes up with a game-winning play yesterday. Man, I really wish we had that live on the broadcast. Official and I took a look at that, and like 4 times with vision toggles. So like, is that Hyanan out of position? Is that Trick making a godlike play? No, it's Trick making a godlike play, and it's such a good play. I'm happy to see Trick finding a lot of success here.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I looked at the stats a couple of weeks back, that he still topped the rankings in terms of deaths in the games, but they have significantly turned that down and played more of the big game, the macro game, and getting better at that. So dangerous G2 going into the playoffs, as well as the rest of our top teams. Now the final week of the spring split comes your way next Thursday, with each team facing their final 2 opponents before the playoffs. And because of daylight savings time starting in NA, the game time is 6 p.m. here in Berlin, but 10 a.m. over across the Pacific. And the Giants will go up first against Origin. We see H2K versus the UOL. and Elements will face Fnatic. So some very interesting matchups.
Interesting matchups and a playoff preview, perhaps, in our match of the week. You mentioned it already. H2K taking on the Unicorns of Love. That's one that we've got our eyes on and looking forward to for next week.
What do you think? Which unicorns will show up?
I mean, Lulex is playing on the enemy team, so it's going to be kind of a grudge match for us. So it would be fun playing against them on the enemy team finally. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think next week is going to decide a lot for the playoffs.
It will, and not only for the LCS as well. There's a lot to decide outside of that because, as a reminder, the European Challenger Series final is going to take place on Tuesday between Huma and the Copenhagen Wolves. That is going to kick off 6 p.m. Central European Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. It's a best of 5 here from the LCS stage. LCS crew, you're going to be joining us as well, and the winner is going to get the top seed going into the summer promotion tournament. Make sure you don't miss any of that.
Sure to meet Giants there in one of those because they are eliminated and are in the promotion tournament. Giggling again. What's up, Crabbo?
See, the timing is all rude right now. I just wanted to add, it's really good to see that at least next week Lulex will be able to win a game on his own for H2K. No, we can go.
That's really mean. That's really mean.
Let's continue going. Week 8 isn't over yet, though. Over in NA, it is their match of the week this Sunday between NRG and Team Liquid. Fantastic matchup. That is Sunday. But until then, the action over in Los Angeles starts tomorrow already at 9 p.m. Central European Time, noon Pacific, with the Renegades versus Cloud9, TSM versus TIP. Very interesting. And CLG versus Team Liquid, that match on Thursday as well. On Saturday as well. We are Friday. Yes, we are. Shocks. It's going to be interesting because at CLG, of course, IEM high hopes. See if they've rebounded coming back.
They look pretty rough. Team Liquid is also in the up and up over in NA, so that's actually a cool match where you have reverse momentum because CLG was looking really crisp. I don't know. Did you watch a lot of IEM Katowice? Did you catch any of the CLG games?
I did. They looked fine when Darshan was just split pushing for the whole game, but it just seems like they have a weird style where they just wait and just try to get the split push going, but it doesn't look consistent when they get the split push going. It seems like it's either hit or miss. Either he has the split push going and the team somehow does something really good and it matches the other team special so he can keep on split pushing, or they don't. It just looks really, really weird and chaotic for me.
Final note on IEM Katowice. We asked, I think it was saying about Vitality, if they would have won IEM Katowice, didn't want to disclose that much. There's an interview with Youngbuck on Reddit saying that G2 would have won. Would H2K have had a shot at winning IEM Katowice?
I think we would have had a shot. I think we would have done good in the groups because I saw them and where we would have been. I think we would have done fine, but I'm not sure about if we would have won or not because SKT is playing with Blank and I don't really know how good they actually are right now because they seem to be struggling in Korea. Rox Tigers is playing really good, so I don't really know if we would have won, but I think we would have had a really good showing.
Right. Only G2 has the confidence to say that they would have won. That's what we expected from them. Well, Odoamne, congratulations. Good week here going into week 9, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Was it fun?
It was fun. I would like to do it more.
All right, cool. There we go. We've written that down. Well, we'll catch you guys right back here next week for the exciting conclusion of the 2016 Spring Split. See you all next week.